Greetings everyone, and welcome to a very special and rather sizable Timey-Wimey Tuesday Doctor Who and other British sci-fi Blu-ray and DVD update. It's even more than that. There's also some peripherally related to Doctor Who things as well. So quite a huge stack of stuff to cover today. Maybe we should get a little more dressed for the occasion, shall we? Let's see here. Yeah. There we go. And as much as we love Halloween around here, maybe we should redecorate a little bit. There we go. And much better. And we even got the Doctor. Alrighty, so today, big Doctor Who, peripherally related to Doctor Who, and other British sci-fi Blu-ray and DVD update. Oh, and there's actually a few 4Ks in the mix too. Today, on Timey-Wimey Tuesday, on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Alrighty, so let's start with, well, one of the more controversial releases in recent years. My absolute favorite season of Classic Who. Season 13. Lucky 13 of the Classic series. This, of course, was Tom Baker's second season, and he had already settled very nicely into the role. Stories included in this season are Terror of the Zygons, Planet of Evil, Pyramids of Mars, The Android Invasion, The Brain of Morbius, and The Seeds of Doom. So you have Tom Baker already, at the height of his powers as the Doctor, under the stewardship of one of the all-time greatest showrunners, Philip Hinchcliffe, rivaled only perhaps by Barry Letts for the 70s era. Yeah, so check that out. Now, of course, I was very excited to see that this was getting a Blu-ray release, but, as some of you may have heard, some of the recent releases have started using some rather needlessly aggressive AI upscaling. And this season, unfortunately, I feel, fares the worst and has some of the worst examples of it. I'm not going to dig for screenshots. You can find plenty of examples of that online. Just look up Doctor Who AI Upscaling Season 13, Blu-ray, whatever, and I'm sure you'll find a multitude of examples. But, I wasn't not going to get Season 13 because it's my all-time favorite season, and I know a lot of other fans feel the same way. But I gotta say, this AI upscaling that they've been using for the past few season sets has gotten so bad that I know a lot of fans who've been collecting the whole line who basically just said, done, I'm not supporting that. And I'm kind of in two minds about it, and it's kind of annoying also because I just started committing to getting the big expensive limited editions, right? And now they're doing this half-assed AI upscaling job of it. Come on, guys. Go back to whatever you were using for the other frickin' 15 sets. It looked great. It was fine. It weren't broke. You didn't need to fix it. There was nothing to fix. So, I know it's probably a long shot, but I'm really hoping that at some point the BBC will listen and offer either disc replacements, or maybe when the non-limited edition comes out, we'll have properly done upscales of the show like we've had in the previous seasons. Now, with that out of the way, yeah, just let it be said for the record, I am one of the fans who hates the AI upscaling and wants it to just go away. Okay? Can you just go back to whatever you were using before? It was fine. It was perfect. It was beautiful. Anyway, here's hoping they fix it. Now, beautiful package art, as always, by Lee Binding, I believe. And, yeah, let's just take a little look. We're going to do like a proper closer look at all of these sets. I know I've done a few of them. We'll do more as we go, but we'll take a quick peek here at some of the package art. Quite nice. And then if we take all the inserts and stuff out, set them over here. Then you can see, let's see how well we can show this. We have the Season 13 TARDIS console. Very nice. So, there we go. And then inside we have, well, as always, a collection of BBC memorabilia and a book. And, oh, look, it's the Morbius Doctors. Very controversial. Yeah. And there we go. I mean, as always, just a very nice book going and giving all kinds of behind-the-scenes info about each story. There are tons of extras in this, as there always are. Yeah, so Terror of the Zygons has some updated special effects for parts 2 and 4. I'm assuming for the Scaracen in particular, because that was always considered a pretty janky effect. Yeah, and it has both new and archival audio commentary. Yeah, and Planet of Evil, which, you know, was one that well, Terror of the Zygons was the first story that I ever saw in full, so it's a huge, important story for me. And then Planet of Evil I remember quite vividly as being, I guess, the next story I saw in full. And it scared the hell out of me as a kid. Pyramids of Mars. We've got, yeah, we've got like an HD recreation of the 60-minute repeat compilation. So we've got like the omnibus edition. Terror of the Zygons also has, yeah, the director's cut of part 1, which has an extra scene, specifically the scene where the Doctor, Harry, and Sarah arrive. So there's a nice little character moment there, which I like. It has become my preferred way to watch that that season. But yeah, just freaking beautiful artwork for each of the stories in this. And that's the thing. I mean, these sets in many ways really, you know, set the standard for just giving a show the deluxe treatment. You know, I don't know of any other show really that has had this level of deluxe treatment. You know, just absolute royal treatment for every season, which is why it's so disheartening to see them using this awful AI upscaling for the episodes themselves. I mean, it's completely unnecessary. Yeah, there's also a 90-minute movie compilation omnibus edition of the Seeds of Doom. So, yeah, very cool. Anyway, we'll take a closer look at this another time, and I'll give you a proper up-close look at all the nitty-gritty. But in the meantime, I was so disheartened by what they had done to, you know, my beloved Terror of the Zygons, that I actually went out and bought the PAL DVD of it as well. Even though I have the NTSC one, I wanted it just in the best possible quality I could get it in, because that sure as hell ain't the Blu-ray. So I picked up the PAL DVD, which has most of the, well, the archival extras. This was actually one of the last DVD releases that they put out to coincide with the 50th anniversary. This was a story that I remember we were waiting a long time to hit DVD, and it finally did, and it was one of the last titles from the range. And the nice thing about the UK DVDs is they also have an insert booklet, which we did not get here. And this is actually a 2-disc set. And it has reversible artwork as well. I'll just pop the discs out so you can see. I'm not sure what the difference is. That and that. So what's the difference? Oh, I see. It's kind of like what Umbrella does with their sets. It's slightly different. It doesn't have the rating sticker on the spine, but it still has the ones on the front and back. It's interesting. But yeah. So I originally was just going to get the entire season on DVDs. I might still do that because the UK DVDs are actually quite inexpensive. So I may actually just grab all of them at some point. Because I'm that anal. Maybe I'll just collect the entire Region 2 DVD line. Why not? So here's, is this a booklet? Yeah. Yeah, so we got that, which has the chapter listing and the front cover art. And then here, we got all kinds of additional info and stuff about the extras and whatnot. So, very nice. Very nice having those inserts. So you just sort of see at a glance a little more detailed look at what's on the set. So next up, I had picked up the US version of this, but again, committing to the limited editions, this one was still basically going for regular price. Picked up season 15. So here we go. I haven't even opened this one up yet, but we will have already talked about this in an older update when I got the US set. So so it marks the first one that I've actually pulled from my collection to sell. So we'll see, make some North American fan happy. So this one, season 15, we have the Horror of Fang Rock, which is basically the end of the Gothic horror era. So I should try to at least pick up season 14, which goes in between them, and that's the other Gothic horror season. So Horror of Fang Rock was the last one when the new producer took over. Graham something. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but anyway. Then we have The Invisible Enemy, Image of the Fendal, The Sunmakers, Underworld, and The Invasion of Time. Yeah, kind of a mixed bag. Underworld and The Invasion of Time are both considered kind of, so-so stories. I've really come to love The Sunmakers as a satire. It's one of Robert Holmes' finest works of satire, I think. The Invisible Enemy is just a great take on that sort of classic trope of we have to miniaturize ourselves down and go inside the guy's body to defeat the virus, in this case an alien presence. And Image of the Fendal, I know I've seen a million times and I can never remember what it's about. I know it's good, but I just don't remember the story. I don't know why I just always draw a blank on that one. So that's okay, it'll be new to me all over again for the 15th time I've watched it. Anyway, season 15, very nice. Gotta love some more Tom Baker in the collection. And finally, this is the latest season to come out, and there actually haven't been any more announced since. We've almost finished the 70s and 80s era. We only have, we finished the 80s era with this set. Season 21, which of course was Peter Davison's final season, and this contains some terrific stories, and some, okay stories. His run was a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. I'll wait on this one for the closer look as well. So this one has Warriors of the Deep, which just got kind of a bit of a revisit with the War Between the Land and the Sea miniseries that came out. The Awakening, Frontios, Resurrection of the Daleks, that's an all-time great. Planet of Fire, that's a great one too. And The Caves of Androzani, which was, judged by many fans, myself included, to be one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time, all eras. It's just such a great story, and a fabulous send-off for Peter Davison. And then we have The Twin Dilemma, which is the not too great debut of Colin Baker, who is a doctor that I've always really liked, and I really enjoyed his first season. I enjoyed most of Trial of a Time Lord, and I wish that he had had a better debut story. I don't know why they chose to like tag it on at the end of season 21, kind of breaking from tradition. Usually, when there was a regeneration, they would have it at the end of the season, and then you'd meet the next Doctor for the first time at the start of the following season. But for whatever reason, in this time around, they they chopped off Peter's last season by one story and gave it to the next Doctor, and then unfortunately, it wasn't a great debut story. It's like it's okay, it has its moments, but it is not a great debut story, and it was kind of like a rough start, because then that's all we had of that Doctor for an entire year until the next season came out, and you could really see him come into his own throughout his first full season. So, yeah, kind of a mixed bag, but great to have this on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, this is another one that suffers from the AI upscaling issue. In fact, I think season 15 here might be the last one that doesn't have that. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's I have taken a skim through this. I don't think it looks as bad as some of the examples in season 13 did, but still, they just got to stop using whatever that is. It looks like crap, and they got to stop using it. It is compromising the quality of their product. BBC, come on. Let the video restoration people do their work. That's why you hired them. Stop trying to force their hand in jumping on this AI bandwagon that everybody seems keen to jump onto. And everybody hates it. Literally everybody hates it. You know? Just knock it off. Go back to what you were using before. It worked great. If that was some other AI upscaling, well, we were none the wiser because it looked great. Because the one you're using now looks like crap. So knock it off. Next up. Well, that's it for the season sets so far. I haven't really sprung for any, digging deeper into the collection yet, because, they're a little on the pricey side. There's a few that are kind of cheap that I'll probably jump on at some point. But for now, that is all we've got. So I've got a grand total of 6 of the limited editions. If you're curious what the other ones are, seasons 7, 20... 21, 25, and then 13 and 15. So a lot of gaps there, but we'll work on filling those in. Next up, going way back to the 60s, we have the special presentation of the War Games in color. Yes, so another one much along the lines of the when they did the Daleks in color. So this was an epic 10-part story. How much did they cut this one down? They cut it down to 95 minutes. Wow. Now, I remember the original 10-part story. I mean, you might balk at the length of it, but I always thought it moved at a pretty good clip. Like, it's a good, fast-paced, fun adventure story. It didn't feel like there was a lot of filler there. But, and it's a great send-off story for Patrick Troughton, who was, really the Doctor that helped to set the stage for what was to come. So much of 70s, 80s, and even modern Doctor Who refers back to things that happened during the Second Doctor's era. It was really a defining era for so much of, the franchise that followed. So we slide this out here. So I've not actually watched this one yet. I need to check that out. We'll do a proper closer look another time. But here we have the War Games in color on one disc, and then we have, I think, 2 stacked discs. Yeah, 2 stacked DVDs of the original. So we have, what is it here? Where do they put the original bonus? Because it doesn't say. It says the War Games episodes 6 through 10, but none of them say 1 through 4. I'm assuming that 1 through 4 or 1 through 5 are on this disc. But no, that's disc 3, that's disc 4. Oh, it's actually 4 discs. I thought it was 3. I see where the confusion was. So if we pop these ones out, wow, that's quite a deluxe set, actually. It's far more deluxe than I realized. Yeah, here there it is. episodes 1 through 5. So then, if we pop all of these out, 4 discs, that's quite a set. And here we have a little hint at the Regeneration to come. Yeah, my understanding is they actually redid the Regeneration in this, so you actually do see Patrick Troughton regenerate into Jon Pertwee. So, kind of interesting. Whether you want to accept that as canon or not is entirely up to you. I kind of lean towards just keeping it pure and the way it's always been, you know, but an interesting alternate universe presentation, shall we say. And I do love this, I do love the artwork on these steelbooks. So, contains 6 extra minutes of colorized material. Okay, so they did, that's basically going to be the Regeneration, I think. They have like a scene at the end. I wonder if it goes to, I don't know, because I remember they had the clip from that fan film, Devious, which had the second Doctor regenerated into kind of an interim Doctor who then went off and had a bunch of adventures and then came back and regenerated into Jon Pertwee. And they actually got Jon Pertwee for it. They met him at a convention and had him film some scenes. And it essentially leads into the start of Spearhead from Space, which originally was the first time we ever saw him as the Doctor when he stumbles out of the TARDIS. So it was meant to kind of bridge that gap. And then we have this interim mid-regeneration Doctor who's kind of like halfway between the two, played by a wonderful older gentleman as well. I don't know his name off the top of my head. But, yeah, very cool. You can find Devious on YouTube, by the way, if you want to see the entire thing. They're still working on it, like literally, they've been working on it over the past, like, literally 30 years. And posting the episodes on YouTube. I think there's 3 or 4 now. And we haven't quite got to the end, but we're getting there. So, good stuff. Speaking of alternate Doctors, now I've picked up previous editions of this, but this was an upgrade I absolutely had to have. We have Peter Cushing as Doctor Who in the Total Extermination collection from, from Severin, yeah, from Severin Films. There we go. Interestingly enough, when I got this, they sent the 2 movie cases, and then I had to assemble the box. So they just sent the box flat with it, so you could get the movies individually, and I guess just get the box if you wanted. So here, of course, we have the North American 4K debut of Doctor Who and the Daleks with Peter Cushing, the wonderful 60s movie. And let's take a little look inside. Yeah, we got the 4K and Blu-ray. And quite a lot of extras on here. On the UHD, we've got audio commentary with Whovians Barry Forshaw, Stephen Jones, and Kim Newman. Kim Newman, who's on everything. Audio commentary with stars Jenny Linden and Roberta Tovey, moderated by journalist Jonathan Southcott. And another audio commentary with critic Kim Newman, screenwriter and writer Robert Shearman, and actor and writer Mark Gatiss. Very nice. And the original trailer. And then on the Blu-ray, we've got a 1992 audio interview with director Gordon Fleming by author and journalist Tony Earnshaw. Subotsky and the Daleks, Part 1, an interview with producer Milton Subotsky. Kara and the Daleks, an interview with Doctor Who expert Kara Dennison. Dalek Mania, which is a 60-minute documentary from 1995. An interview with Gareth Owen, author of the Shepperton story. And finally, the Dalek Legacy Destination Skaro, with Nicholas Briggs, the voice of the Daleks in the modern show, screenwriter Robert Shearman, visual effects designer Mike Tucker from Doctor Who, editorial assistant Emily Cook from Doctor Who magazine, and writer and 3D artist Gavin Rimmel from Doctor Who magazine, and a still gallery. So there you go. Quite a loaded edition, I have to say. That's the most deluxe edition I've ever seen of this. I do have the Kino Lorber Blu-rays from a while back, and they didn't have anywhere near that number of extras. And then we have Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. There we go. This is great stuff. And this, of course, this one was based on the very first Dalek story, just the Daleks, the 7-part adventure, and this was based on the 6-part adventure, the Dalek invasion of Earth, with William Hartnell, both William Hartnell. So here, disc 1 on the UHD, we got 2 audio commentaries, one with Whovians, Barry Forshaw, Stephen Jones, and Kim Newman again, and another one with Kim Newman, screenwriter and writer Robert Shearman, and actor and writer Mark Gatiss, and the original trailer. And then on the Blu-ray, we have Daleks Invasion BBC, 1963 to 1969 AD, an interview with Doctor Who expert Stephen Thrower. You brought her, you throw her. Subotsky and the Daleks Part 2, an interview with producer Milton Subotsky. An interview with actor Bernard Cribbins. Yes, Bernard Cribbins, who many of you would know as Donna's grandfather, is in this as well. Very strapping young Bernard Cribbins. Interview with Gareth Owen, author of the Shepperton story. The Dalek Legacy, Invasion Earth, with Nicholas Briggs, voice of the Daleks, screenwriter Robert Shearman, visual effects designer Mike Tucker, editorial assistant Emily Cook, and writer and 3D artist Gavin Rimmel. And finally, Restoring Doctor Who in 4K, with restoration expert Anthony Badger, film prep and scanning expert Ray King, and colorist Steve Behrman. And a still gallery. And there you go. That is it, and there's no pack-ins or anything. It was basically just, here's the box, figure out how to assemble it your own damn self, which I did. But it's very odd. I've never seen like in a box set, getting the box separately and having to assemble it yourself. So, then, getting caught up on some new Who, we picked up the Blu-ray of the 60th anniversary specials, featuring Doctor number 10, 14. Doctor number 14, David Tennant, again. And with Catherine Tate as Donna, again. I will say this, it was nice that Donna finally gets a happier ending. It was great to see David Tennant back, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, kind of an interesting mix of specials. What did I think of them? Honestly, I thought all 3 of them were pretty decent. I wasn't wild about how they retooled the Star Beast. And I never really got why they chose the Star Beast to adapt, as far as adapting the comic strip adventures. I feel like there are far better comic strip adventures they could have adapted. But, I mean, that's okay. It was kind of a fun, as one who's been a fan of the old Doctor Who magazine comic strips from the 70s and 80s, it was a nice treat to see one brought to life in live action, albeit in heavily altered form. Wild Blue Laundry. Wild Blue Yonder was just a great small-scale, good old-fashioned, scary Doctor Who adventure. Really liked that one a lot. But for me, the absolute pinnacle of the specials was the one with this guy. Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris just ripping up the scenery as the toy maker, and holy moly, so much fun. Absolutely loved it. I've not opened this up yet. Let's do that now, shall we? Here we go. It's coming. Yeah, the giggle with Neil Patrick Harris as the toy maker was absolutely the standout for me for the specials, and I think it was for a lot of people actually, because it was just such a fun performance, and he was obviously having a blast, and it was great to see that classic character finally come back. You know, it had been a long time. So we got a Doctor Who catalog there. We won't look at that right now, but we do have individual disc art for each of the 3 specials. And there we go. Quite nice. And I was actually, considering I waited a while to get this, I was quite pleased to get the slipcover with it, because it's a really nice matte finish slipcover. So, good stuff. Alrighty, so we're getting quite a stack of Who here, but we're far from finished. Let's continue. So next up, we have what is, for the moment, the last of Doctor Who anything that we might be seeing for a while. Well, there is some kind of animated show coming from CBBC, but other than that, that's all the Doctor Who that's on the schedule for the foreseeable future. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But first off, we have the War Between the Land and the Sea, the aforementioned. So this is the only thing I haven't actually watched yet, so I need to check this out. But yeah, and I do still need to pick up the 2 Shudigatwa seasons. I wasn't sure if they were going to do like a set of them like they've done with the previous Doctors. I assume they will at some point, but I don't know. I might just get the 2 seasons. The only problem is they're kind of expensive, considering they're only like, what, 8 episodes each? Like, really short seasons. So, yeah, I miss the days of the 13-episode season, or the 26-episode seasons of the old days, you know? Like, come on. Anyway, this is the War Between the Land and the Sea, which I gather has the Silurians and the Sea Devils in it, I'm guessing. So kind of like what Warriors of the Deep hoped it would be. So here we go. And great to see Russell Tovey back, who of course we remember from the one with the Titanic in space. And I also remember him from the Hound of the Baskervilles episode of Sherlock. He was quite funny in that. But yeah, but I remember in the Titanic episode he was Alonzo, which is where we got the famous line "Alonzi Alonzo," and yeah, wonderful. Another catalog, and really not much to speak of in terms of discard. It's basically just that. So yeah, great. So, I guess the elephant in the room is, hey Z, are we in Wilderness Years 2.0? Kind of looks like that, doesn't it? I will say also, like, regarding the Shudigatwa seasons, loved him, loved the companions, but a little disappointed with Russell T Davies 2.0. To be perfectly honest. I thought there were some great episodes. I thought there was a lot of really great setup, but I felt like the payoffs at the end of both seasons were kind of lackluster. I did not like what they did with Sutek, and I really didn't like what they did with Omega. There it is. See, I don't just blindly love all things Who. There are things that I have a problem with. I mean, although I will say the thing they did with Sutek did give us a crap ton of hilarious memes of like, so wait a minute, Sutek was just hanging off the TARDIS all this time. What about when this happened? Or when this happened? Like, was he just like getting completely messed up as they were going through that, you know, cosmic storm in that one episode, or getting sucked into another dimension? Or how about the umpteen times the TARDIS blew up? Was he just like hanging on to the light at the top of the TARDIS? Like, it just didn't make sense. And that was the problem I had with it. Like, a lot of things, especially in Doctor Who, you can kind of reconcile by twisting and turning the continuity a little bit, but that just seemed silly to me. You know? Like, I get that he's Sutek, and it was great to bring him back, and they got, what's his face, as the voice again. Yeah, I mean, it was terrific in that regard, like as a bit of nostalgia, but, and to coincide more or less with the release of season 13. So, I mean, obviously a lot of grand plans at work there. So it's like we got the last story of season 13 on DVD during the 50th anniversary, and then we got season 13 on Blu-ray for the 60th anniversary. Just wish it didn't have the problems it has. But, and then Omega, oh my god. After all that beautiful setup with the Rani coming back and everything, and I didn't have any problems with the Rani. I liked both incarnations of the Rani, and how they were very different, and I thought the second Rani we got was more Rani-like, But I did like all the kind of setup and built lead up to that. That was a fun payoff for me. But I did not like what they did with Omega, with all the lead up to that, basically just turning him into fucking raging zombie beast. Like, that wasn't Omega. Come on. Have you even seen the Three Doctors and Arc of Infinity? Do you know anything about Omega? Like, I get it. He was in the black hole in the time vortex, getting ripped to shit and went crazy. Fine. You can still have him be recognizable as this wonderful, iconic villain. It was such a disservice to that villain. It was such a disservice to the fans. And then, to add insult to injury, we have this fun little cliffhanger of Rose, or the Dr. Rose, coming back. And there was no plan there. Russell T Davies had no plan. He hadn't written anything for the Christmas special. He gave us like all these cryptic words about, oh, think of this village and Bandersnatch and doobity-doo, and just like tossed out 3 random words to keep us on the hook, and then later said, yeah, I actually didn't write anything. So you just lied to us then. Okay, great. I think I'm beginning to understand where Christopher Eccleston's been coming from all this time. You know, if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But I think you know we should really be listening to Chris a little more. I think. But I feel like they brought Russell back to save the show, and I'll always be grateful to him for being the driving force between bringing the show back originally in 2005. But I gotta say, Russell T Davies 2.0. Definitely a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, these were great. This was a very promising start. This was a lot of fun. Loved the specials. And I liked a lot of the individual episodes of the 15th Doctor. And I loved Shudigawa. I thought he was terrific. And I couldn't believe that they ended his run after 2 seasons. It's like Colin Baker 2.0. Like, he got totally screwed. He got 2 seasons that barely equal the length of 1 season in a normal, like, time period. Just so much unrealized potential in that. And then the lackluster payoffs in both seasons. What the hell was the point of bringing Susan back? I mean, I'm glad to see her back. I've been wanting to see her come back forever. But what a wasted opportunity. And you even try to set it up by having a character named Susan Twist. Huh? Why wasn't she just Susan? Regenerated Susan. Why couldn't that just have been Susan? Why do you gotta like play all these stupid little games and drop all these little seeds and threads that go nowhere? You know, the whole point, you want to know how to tie everything together in a nice, tidy little package where everything actually connects properly and makes sense? Go watch series 5 and 6. Matt Smith's first 2 seasons. You know? Under Stephen Moffat. Who, I mean, you know, being the current showrunner at the time, has got endless flack from the fans. But they're sure looking back with a different light now. That guy knew how to put the threads together. You know, he knows how to tie it all in and make it make sense. And give you a satisfying payoff at the end of the season. The only problem with Stephen Moffat is he has a real problem with actually killing off his characters. He just can't kill them off. They always find a way to come back in some way. Or be almost dead, but not quite. Except Rory. He killed Rory a lot. That was fun. So, anyway, yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. And where do we go from here? Well, we know there was no grand plan, so he basically just dropped the Rose cliffhanger to leave it to the next guy to figure out. Great. I mean, I can think of about a dozen different ways they can resolve that. You know, We have, I mean, it could be part of the doctor's therapy, right? Like he's doing, well, no, because he's supposed to be done his therapy by the time he's turned into 15. See, even that doesn't pay off properly. He turns into Rose to reconcile his feelings for Rose. I mean, that's kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't even know. So now, whenever it does come back, I pity whoever has to resolve that cliffhanger. But, you know, get somebody who's good, who's a good writer, and, you know, you will be surprised. So now, Disney's out, apparently. They did their 2 seasons. It didn't make $1 bajillion, and they just basically kicked Doctor Who to the curb. So now they're shopping around. Bad Wolf is out, apparently. The company was literally named after Doctor Who thing. Like, it's just such a frickin' mess right now. It really is, and so it's probably for the best if they take a break for a little while, you know, and figure things out. Meanwhile, it gives us lots of time to catch up and revisit old favorites and maybe reevaluate some past seasons we may not have been so thrilled with the first time around. It's always good to go back and look at things with fresh eyes, I find. And with Doctor Who especially, I mean, going back and watching a lot of the old stories that I mainly saw when I was a kid, but seeing them as an adult, I'm picking up on things that I never would have picked up on as a kid. And it's like I'm seeing them, you know, for the first time all over again, you know. Well, at the same time, remembering all the bits that, you know, scared me as a kid or whatever, or that I liked as a kid. And, yeah. Anyway, we're not actually done with the update. I just figured that was something that needed to be addressed while we were looking at the new Who stuff. So, in addition to getting some Doctor Who, I got some Doctor Who related stuff. So I remember, speaking of Peter Davison, there was a show that my mum used to watch that she really enjoyed, which starred Peter Davison, and it was one of the first sort of major television roles he did, I think, after doing Doctor Who, other than I think he went and did a few more seasons of All Creatures Great and Small. But there was another show he did where he got to play the starring role, and it was based on a series of novels, and basically a period piece, sort of cozy mystery series. We have Campion, the complete collection. This is such a wonderful show. I've been absolutely loving it. Co-stars Brian Glover, wonderful character actor who can do comedy, drama, the whole works. He was just amazing. So Albert Campion is essentially a rich man who's bored. So he solves mysteries in his spare time, and he's quite the amateur sleuth, and works closely with the police to solve murders and so forth. And Brian Glover plays his manservant slash butler, who's an ex-con, very rough and tumble type, and he's a lot of fun too. So you have the sort of prim and proper Campion with the rough and tumble lug, as he's named, and the dynamics between the two is great. They're such a terrific pair, and this is just such a fun, charming, cozy mystery series. And set in the 1930s, yeah. So, great stuff. And this is the entire series. This is all they did. It wasn't a particularly lengthy series. But I've watched about half of them. I think there's 8. Yeah, there's 8 mysteries. Each one is 2 parts, roughly, 2 hours per mystery. So, it's pretty common to have mysteries, be movie-length episodes and such. So yeah, this is terrific. So if you like a good cozy mystery, like a period mystery, and you're a Doctor Who fan and want to see some more of Peter, taking the lead and obviously having a blast, check out Campion. It's great stuff. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and I need to get back to it actually. Next up, speaking of doctors taking on the lead role, or former doctors taking on a lead role, and becoming a legend in a whole other way, we have, oh man, I can't believe this finally got a Blu-ray release. I'll just show you what it is. We have the complete collection of Worzel Gummidge. Yes, John Pertwee as a not too bright, but has his heart in the right place, Scarecrow. And this includes both Worzel Gummidge and Worzel Gummidge Down Under, where they went to, was it Australia, I guess? No, New Zealand. It was New Zealand. So this is notable because I'm going to do a proper closer look at this at some point, so I'm not going to bust it all out now, but this was notable because for the longest time they only had the old broadcast masters of the show, and nobody knew where the film prints were. And then, as luck would have it, they found a complete set of the original 16mm film prints, a lot of the negatives and stuff, and spent several years scanning them, cleaning them up, restoring them, and then finally put them out on Blu-ray. So I remember with some of my UK viewers who attend my chats, like my live streams, we were very excited to hear that they found the film prints and were waiting with bated breath for them to announce a Blu-ray collection. And then finally they did. It's not the cheapest set, but I mean, considering all the work that went into it, I was more than happy to support it. I'll just give you a quick look here. So we have a booklet with all kinds of stuff about the show and the restoration. We have a poster, which I guess I can show you the poster here. Let's see. There's a big poster. Hold on. So there we go. And it is double-sided. The other side is just the clean artwork without the credits. There you go. I remember I used to watch this periodically on YTV. They actually showed it. We actually have a soundtrack CD, which is very cool, and has music from both series. Very cool. And then here is Worzel Gummidge, the complete restored edition, series 1 through 4, complete. Yeah, and it's been wonderful revisiting this and seeing it in such gorgeous quality. I didn't see a ton of it when it was originally on. I would catch the odd episode here and there, so it's wonderful to be able to sit down and watch this. So yeah, so 6 series total. So it was quite. I guess we are busting it all out now, but I'll give you a deeper look another time. Yeah, I think the art is the same on all the discs, so there we go. And then Down Under. Yeah, so we do have episode listings on the inside there as well. Is it different artwork on this one? No, it's the same art on all of them as well. So, anyway. Yeah. So, if like me, you're a fan of Worzel Gummidge, then you might want to pick this one up. Or if you're just, again, like me, just a fan of Jon Pertwee, this is definitely one of the big notable things that he did, and is absolutely worth picking up and checking out, because it is just positively delightful. And oddly dark at times as well. Like, it's almost borderline, like, horror for kids sometimes. Sorry about the interruption there. I was rambling for so long that the camera overheated and shut down. Guess this is the thing when you're filming in 8K in the heat of summer. You gotta pace yourself a little bit for the sake of the camera. Where the heck was I? Well, anyway, it was a long time coming, but absolutely worth the wait. This is a beautiful set, and what was I saying? Yeah, there's like, it's a mix of, there's like moments that are kind of like horror, but, you know, safe for kids horror, you know, the scary scarecrow stuff, but it's also very funny, it's very charming, it's very heartwarming. This is just such a great set. And I know that Jon Pertwee and the whole cast, I guess, did live shows as well. I wish there was videos of some of those. That would be such a delight to see. I've seen a number of interviews with Jon where he talks about those shows and how there would be even more adults in the audience than there were kids. Like, it would be a show for kids, right? But he would say, like, he'd see one little kid with about 7 adults with him, and say, so you know, what's it's like what are you all doing here? And he's like, oh, you know, we just thought we'd bring the grandson. He likes your program. He's like, oh yes, It takes 7 of you to bring him. But yeah, it's just one of those things that kind of transcended generations, and just everybody loved Worzel Gummidge. Originally based on a series of books, quite a number of books, I believe, and there was also a revival series done recently with another actor, because of course John has long since passed on, but and apparently the new series is great too. I haven't seen that one, but I definitely would like to pick that one up at some point, because it's just such a charming series, and definitely recommended if you're a fan of John Pertwee, as of course I am. I just love everything that he does. Alrighty, last but most certainly not least, very Doctor Who related, and that a lot of the same people worked on it, and a lot of a lot of familiar faces from Doctor Who appeared on it. We have Series 2 of the Blu-ray collection of Blake's 7. Yes. Series 3 is listed on Amazon, but does not have a release date yet. So I imagine it's imminent. This one came out last year, actually, so it's almost overdue for the third series to appear. But much as the first series, this one is absolutely gorgeous. It features updated effects for all 13 episodes, and as well as the original effects, of course, and fabulous. And something I didn't know, a viewer, one of you fine viewers, informed me. I thought the new effects were all CG, but apparently they're not. They're actually practical effects, but done with more modern techniques and such. So we'll probably do a proper closer look at this at some point. But I want to do kind of an overview of all of them once they come out in full. But much like the Doctor Who sets, these are absolutely loaded with contents, all kinds of archival and new extras, just wonderful, wonderful sets that I cannot recommend highly enough if you are a fan of Blake 7, like I am. Great stuff. Wonderful to be revisiting this series after so long as well, and we have this beautiful wraparound artwork featuring the Liberator in all its glory, and then and then I think it's just 2 episodes per disc, so nice high bit rate for the episodes as well. But mind you, it's 2 versions of each episode, so you have the new effects version and the original effects version, all beautifully restored from the highest quality source elements. And and then underneath we just have the logo, and on the other side, what do we have there? On the other side we have character pictures with the hub right in the middle of somebody's face. It's just right in the middle of Blake's face there. So let's slide that out and give you a better look at it there. There we go. Very nice. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So, I guess to sum up, are we in Wilderness Years 2.0? I guess that remains to be seen. I mean, we do have a little bit more Doctor Who related stuff coming. There is no Christmas special this year, despite what we were falsely promised and lied to about by that absolute scamp, Russell T Davies. Shame on you, Russell. Don't lie to the fans. We're your bread and butter, man. Anyway, so I guess it remains to be seen, but I think it's safe to say that the series will be rested for a while before we see anything new. They apparently weren't, even though it was a regeneration story, for the first time in the entire history of the new series, they hadn't even begun to shop around for a new Doctor yet. So so clearly there was no plan and nothing. Just I don't know. It's a really kind of depressing time, honestly, to be a Doctor Who fan. But we're a resilient fandom, and we've been through some very long breaks before, and it's not like we're going to be starved for Doctor Who content. There's still Big Finish, you know, and all the audio adventures. There's still, well, there's not really much in the way of books these days, but there's still the comics being put out by Titan, and there's also the Doctor Who magazine. In fact, during the original Wilderness years, 1989 to 2005, with a brief reprieve in 1996 when the TV movie came out, which I will be getting the 4K, by the way. I'm trying to track down the Steelbook edition. I had it pre-ordered, and then Amazon canceled the order saying, oh, we can't ship that to Canada. But they can ship the regular edition to Canada. Why not the Steelbook edition? So, I don't know. If I can't get my hands on the Steelbook, if it's just too impossible to find for a decent price, I'll just get the regular edition. But the big deal about that, the TV movie set, is they finally corrected the speed. So it's actually the original correct NTSC speed, or more accurately film speed, 24 frames per second, and the correct pitch. It doesn't have that higher pitch from the PAL speed up that all the previous video releases have had. So they finally did it properly, and they went back to the original film elements and remastered everything from the ground up. So that 4K is apparently gorgeous. So I'm definitely going to grab that for the collection at some point. So look forward to that in a future update, and we'll see which version I ended up getting. Yeah, so as for the future of the series, I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, it's a fairly safe bet it's going to be at least a year, probably 2, before we see anything or hear anything about it. But apparently at the moment the BBC is shopping it around again, looking for another partner along the lines of Bad Wolf and Disney to kind of help foot the bill and help with distribution and such. So I guess it's a bidding war for now. So hey, studios out there, you know, do right by us Whovians and get us some more Who happening. All right. But I mean, that said, even if that is the end for the time being, the new series had a pretty good run. I mean, it ran from 2005 to 2025, so basically 20 years. Darn near as long as the original series did, which ran 26 years. But, you know, a lot fewer episodes, especially with the later seasons. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, that is it from me to you for now. So I hope you enjoyed the massive update. Great to finally get those done. Now I can figure out where I'm going to fit them all on the shelf. Oh, I should also mention, I still have a few Doctor Who update videos that I filmed way back when I did that big batch last year. And I just never got around to finishing editing all of them. So I've got a bunch sitting there waiting to be edited. I don't recall how many. There's a few. So look forward to some of those coming your way very soon. I'm going to try to clear as much of the backlog as I can. And then we'll be all in the clear for any new stuff that comes in. The goal is to get all the updates up to date so that we can just focus on the new stuff as it comes in and not fall so horribly behind ever again, because this has been an absolute nightmare. Anyway, hope you've been enjoying the nightmare, and don't have nightmares about the future of Doctor Who, because the Doctor is never gone forever. Alright? He's a Time Lord. He's going to be around a lot longer than any of us. So rest assured, the Doctor will return. As to when and in what form, that remains to be seen. I hope that when it comes back, honestly, I would love to see a return, at least in part, to the format of the old series. You know, give us multi-part stories with cliffhangers and stuff. You know, just get back to that. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, like I keep saying. And for God's sake, stop using that AI upscaling. Alrighty. That is it for me to you for now, folks. Hope you enjoyed. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.